Hey everybody, MrFlavorsmith here. This could just be the most flavorful barbecue pulled pork sandwich you've ever tried. I don't know, because I've never done this recipe before. But let's go on this flavorful adventure together and see if it turns out the way I wanted it to, or if it's a complete flop. All right, this is what we're working with. It's about an 8.5 pound bone-in pork butt. I've had it marinating for over 12 hours in grape juice. We're then gonna inject it with this awesome barbecue sauce I whipped up last night. It's a Dr. Pepper Barbecue Sauce. I have it of a very thin viscosity, so it'll inject nice and easy in all that intermuscular fat to just give it some really awesome internal flavor, and this stuff came out great. After we're done with the injection, we're gonna then put this Sweet Preacher rub on there. This is a Sweet Preacher pork rub made by Fire and Smoke Grill Good Society. I haven't used this before, but I've heard really good things about it. It's got a sweet and sassy blend of brown sugar, paprika, and herbs to create a satisfying southern flavor profile welcome at any barbecue. So this should be really good on the outside. I'm gonna actually score the fat cap. We're gonna cook this fat cap up, and I'm gonna score the fat cap in like a checker pattern so we can get all this rub really deep inside that area right there. And we're gonna rub the whole thing really, really well. We're gonna use cherry wood for our smoke flavor today. I think it'll really complement the grape, the Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce. It should just make it really nice and tasty and complement everything very, very well. Our cook range today is gonna be between 225 and 275 degrees for 8 hours. At the 4-hour mark, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it, and I'm gonna wrap it and put it back on the grill, or I might even put it in the oven. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how that goes. But I'm gonna check this at every hour mark, and I'm probably gonna spray grape juice directly on there to keep that hydrated and keep that moisture content up there, since I'm not gonna put a water reservoir in there this time. And who knows, at some point I might even glaze it with some of that Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce. We'll see. All right, I'm using kind of a fun little heat management system today. I'm gonna use a Vortex inverted upside down, and then I'm gonna use, it's basically a 20-inch cooking pan of a high carbon steel. I'm going to put that on top to help deflect some of the heat from what we're going to be using is a snake method. We're going to take a bunch of briquettes. We're going to be using the B&B briquettes, and we're going to stack them a 2x1 all the way around this vortex, and we're going to let that cook. That should give us our low and slow cooking at hopefully around that 250 degree temperature that we're after. Let's get everything assembled right now and see what that looks like. All right, first thing first, let's pop the lid off. Okay, then let's take our grill out. We'll put that back in a second. We're gonna take our vortex, we're gonna invert it like this. We're then gonna take this heat pan. We're gonna put that right like that. This is gonna catch all of our drippings. This is an Only Fire rotisserie ring extension I'm using. And we're gonna put our grill back on, just like that. We're gonna put our pork butt right here, and then put our top back on. And then we are going to keep this all the way open, our top vent all the way open, and we're gonna adjust our temperature through our bottom vent. That's our goal. All right, let's get the snake in there and all set up. All right, and today for our heat management, we're gonna be using the B&B charcoal. This is the competition charcoal briquettes. If you are into grilling and you use charcoal, you are very familiar with this brand and these. These keep their heat longer and burn cleaner than just about any other briquette I've ever used. And so it works really good for the snake method. And I'll tell you the reason why it works good for the snake method in a moment once we get stacked in here. So the reason why these ones work really good for the snake method is because of their shape. They're more of a square shape. A lot of briquettes are actually more of a pillow shape, so they will be more of a radius at this point on both sides, and it makes it really hard for you to stack them nice and tight. But the B&Bs with this more of a square shape to it allows you to do a really good tight vertical stack all the way around. So we're gonna do one right next to each other, and then we're gonna do one on top, kind of a little pyramid, and that's called a 2x1. And this should give us a nice low and slow heat of about 250 degrees for hopefully the 8 hours. Like I said, if it doesn't work out, then we will end up pulling it at 4 hours and going in the oven because it doesn't need any more smoke flavor after that. Here we go. gonna take that nice red cherry wood and we're gonna put them on top strategically. All right, now let's just see if our conical fits still. Off to one side. Perfect. This will go in there just like this. Awesome. All right, let's wrap this bad boy with foil just to protect it because I'm gonna be spraying it probably with some grape juice. I don't want to get too messed up. And then let's get this lit up. And I'm just using this pan to deflect the heat. That way I don't get burnt pork butt. And just so you know, the width on this is right at 20 inches. And inside the kettle, it's just sitting at about 22 inches. Let's wrap this up with some foil right now. And again, I'm doing this just to protect this because I'm gonna be spraying grape juice more than likely in there, and I just don't want it to get all sticky and nasty right away. I would like to preserve this a little bit if this works out good. Get it to really put all those edges in under around here so we get good airflow for our smoke. There we go. All right, we're also going to get the snake started with a little mini chimney. We're gonna put, what do we have in here? We've got about 10 briquettes we're gonna put in there. We're gonna light that up with our fire and flavor fire starters, 2 on the bottom, and then we're gonna throw one of these bad boys in there. Inside these are the Royal Oak tumbleweeds. I like to throw that inside just so everything gets lit up nice and quick. Stack it all in there, and we'll light that chimney up, get that going. All right, we'll give that about 10 minutes. All right, our starting coals look like they're nice and hot, covered completely ashed over. Let's get our safety gloves on to handle them so we don't burn ourselves. I'm gonna use my tongs. There we go. I'm gonna strategically place them in here. Just need to pile them all up on top of each other in hopes it will ignite our snake. There's many ways of doing this. A torch might work pretty good too, but I don't have one of those. We've got 8 briquettes in here to get us going. All right, let's put our inverted vortex in here. Just like that. All right, now that heat is gonna come up. Let's put our heat deflector on here. Get that in place. Right. Now it's gonna come up and go around. I would like to move some of this foil back just a little bit. Don't necessarily want to burn that foil there, but I want it there just to catch not our drippings, but our overspray from our grape juice. I don't want to mess up the airflow. I want to keep that pretty consistent. That looks good. It's back in there. Just like this. All right. And then now, as you can see, our smoke and our heat will come up from around there. Let's get our drip pan in. Right there. Now, let's get our extension ring on. Right here. Get it in place, nice and sturdy, sealed up. All right. Now let's get our grill grate on. All right. Grill grate on, in place. Everything's looking good. Let's close it up. Let her heat up. My bottom vent is completely open right now, and my top vent is completely open right now. All right, there we go. Now let's let this get the temperature. Hopefully it gets to 250 pretty quick here. All right, while this thing's heating up, I want to get our temperature probes in place. We're gonna put one right on the grill. That way we can get an accurate reading of what our grill surface is at. So we're gonna put that probe over here. And then we're gonna do a probe that goes directly into the meat. We'll get that put into the center of the pork butt in a moment here. Wow, let's get this heating up. Okay, so while we wait for that to come to temperature, we're gonna go inside. We're gonna take the pork butt out of the marinade, and then we're gonna bring it out here. We're gonna slice up that fat cap on top, and then we're gonna rub it really good in preparation for it to go on the grill. Look at that purple pork butt. There's our 12-hour great marinated pork butt. All right, let's get to injecting this. So I have a Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce that I whipped up last night on a lower viscosity, so it's very thinned out. And I'm gonna put that in a shot glass, and then I am going to pull the juice out of there, stick it in there. Here we go. Chip it up first. Get my gloves on. Just in case you're curious, these are just clear vinyl gloves. Just keep my hands clean throughout this process. Make sure I get your thumb in the right one. They work good, they're just not easy to put on. All right, here we go. Okay, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a checker pattern, try and go about every inch. It's gonna be good. Ooh, a little squirting. A little shot glass. Now, some might say, why do this on a pork butt? There's so much intermuscular fat. There's going to be plenty of juice and everything. Here's the bottom line. This just adds more flavor. And why not? We're having fun with this. This thing already looks crazy, so let's just make it taste absolutely crazy. And I kind of think it's going to be sitting under that fat cap. Whoop. And just giving us tons of flavor. Actually, let's try and see if we can do that. Get in there under that fat cap. Trying to get this wherever I can. This is gonna be so full of flavor. All right, one little final run through. Let's see where else I can stick this. Get down inside there. These are gonna make the best pulled pork sandwiches ever. Good enough, it's oozing out. All right, let's get our rub going. Let's stick it over this way. That way I can score that. There's not much of a fat cap on here, but I'm gonna just kind of score this just a little bit anyway, just where the fat's at. Just to be able to let that rub go in just a little bit further. It kind of makes it look a little pretty too. Go. All right, let's get the rubbing. I'll actually start with the bottom because we're gonna go fat cap up. Get it on the sides real good. We'll get it on the top, the fat cap. Just try and get it in everywhere you can. Coat it as thick as you can. That's what I'm going for. It looks pretty good. All right, and we've got a beautiful light blue smoke going on our smoker right now. Perfect. That's exactly where we want it. Our temperature, we're at 199 degrees right now. Let's get this on here. All right, we're gonna go thicker side towards where most of that smoke's coming from. Get it right over our drip pan. Move our probe just a little bit over. Probe right here. There we go. All right, now we're gonna stick our internal probe in. Our bone right there. So I'm gonna go in right there to the middle. Going in right below the fat cap, right in the middle, not making contact with the bone. You don't want to make contact with the bone. You want to be, and the bone is going this way right here. So we don't want to be, we don't want to be making contact with the bone, but we want to be in the middle of everything. All right, let's close it up. We'll come back in a half hour, but we'll check our temperature all the time with our remote temperature. Let's not forget one of the most important things you have to do. If you know, you know. All right. We have the smoke that we're after, that nice, very light, rolling blue smoke. We had a temperature spike. We spiked out at about 289 degrees for just a moment there. My bottom vent was all the way open and the top vent was all the way open, but I've closed my bottom vent now down to a quarter of the way open, and we're sitting at 261 grill surface temperature and a 54 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature on the pork. So, and our top vent is all the way open. So we're sitting pretty good, and we're about a half hour into the cook right now. We're just gonna keep the lid closed because we don't need to worry about dry, spraying it down because it's dry because it's only been a half hour, but we'll come back in a half hour and check on it. All right, everybody, we're an hour and a half into the cook right now. We've been sitting at a constant 270 degrees Fahrenheit, which is totally awesome because I wanted to be between 250 and like 275, so we're spot on. It's just been smoking away. Everything's been looking real good. But now, let's take the lid off, see what it looks like, see if we got some dry spots. If we have some dry spots, we're gonna use our little grape spray and we're gonna spray it down to kind of moisten those dry spots back up. Let's check it out. Wow, that is looking great. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Let's just see. Spray it down a little bit. Just a little dry in some spots, but not bad. Oh, that's looking good. All right, let's get this lid back on and let it go for another hour. All right, 2 hours into it, and we have an internal temperature of 102 and an ambient temperature of 270. So we are spot on. And we've got just a real mild, rolling, light smoke coming out right now. Let's check it out and see if we need to spray it down a little bit with our grape juice. All right, everybody's seen these before, but I just really got to say how awesome it is to have a remote thermometer. It's just amazing. I was out in the front yard watching my boy ride his bike, and I'm able to see exactly what's going on with my cook, and it just really adds a peace of mind to you. So I highly recommend getting something like this. And this thing's amazing. I can have it set and have up to 4 probes and read in multiple temperatures all at once and walk around the inside of the house, the outside of the house, the front, the backyard. It's just awesome. So highly recommend getting one of these. Three hours later. All right, so we're 3 hours in. We're sitting with an internal temperature of 127 degrees with an ambient temperature of 266 degrees. It's been sitting at 270, pretty spot on the entire time. Just in the last few minutes, it's gone down to 264. But let's go over here. You can kind of see, you can figure out where your snake is at by the hot spot, and it stops like right here, and I feel it really intense right here. So it's probably just in the middle of igniting more coals right now and getting it all hot again. So, but let's take the lid off and let's see what it looks like and spray it down. Oh my, that looks amazing. Yeah, that looks really good. It's getting, this is beautiful. And it's just nice and juicy. I'm just gonna spray it down just a little bit here. But man, does that look good. Oh yeah, that fat is starting to render a little bit and coming out. All right, let's put it back on. We're gonna go another hour, and at that point, we'll see if it stalls out at about 165 degrees. If it does that and we still have enough coals left in our snake, we'll keep it on here. If I feel we need to bump up the heat a little bit, we might just take it and put it in the oven, because I want to be serving these awesome sliders by 7 p.m. tonight. So sometimes when you have this closed, like I had it closed all the way here, which is about a quarter of the way open on the bottom vent, well, you know, we're 3 hours in the cook right now. So a lot of those coals have turned into ash and fallen down, and that might plug your hole. That might have been the reason for a little dip in temperature. So it's just good at this point just to kind of move this back and forth, you know, clear out all that spent ash and get it back to right at my quarter opening mark. And go from there and see if that raises the temperature. All right, so we're 4 hours into the cook right now, and we're sitting at 151 degrees internal temperature. So we're just about 10 degrees away from the stall temperature, about 165 degrees. We have an ambient temperature of 295 degrees. I opened it up just a little bit on the bottom vent. It's about halfway open right now, top vent fully open. Now that we're at the 4 hour mark, I'm gonna pull the top off, see what it looks like, spritz it down, and then I'll close it back up until we hit that 160, 65 temperature for the stall. Oh wow, that looks really good. That is getting a really nice good bark to it. Looking super juicy. Still looking really moist. All right, I'm gonna spray it one last time. Not that it really needs it, but I'm doing it anyway. It's looking really good. All right. Let's see if it gets to our 265 degree temperature, and then we'll wrap it up and see what we want to do with it then. All right, so we're 5 hours in on the cook. We're sitting at 163 degrees internal temperature, and it's pretty much stalled out there. So my thermometer might be off just a degree or two. So usually it's around 165 degrees when it stalls out, and that's because the fat's rendering and it's actually kind of cooling things off a little bit. We have an ambient temp of 290 degrees. I bumped it up because I kind of wanted to speed this up as best as I could. So now I'm going to pull it. I'm going to apply some of that Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce on there. I'm going to wrap it, then I'm going to stick it back on there and wait for it to get nice and tender and get around 203 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's do it now. There it is, 5 hours. That is our amazing looking pork butt right there. Yeah, stalled out about 163 degrees Fahrenheit. So now we're going to transfer it over to another little pan. We're gonna apply some sauce to it, wrap it up, and get it cooking again. I'm gonna put some of these white cotton gloves on, and I'm gonna top it off with some of these blue nitrate gloves. The cotton gloves prevent me from burning my hands when handling hot meat and things like that. So this is essential to have, the 2 of these. All right. Probes real quick. Let's take my grate off real quick. Put that boy back in there. Take this. I'm doing a little dance. Some foil real quick. Drizzle some barbecue sauce over it real quick. Some of my thinned out stuff. we go. Make it nice and moist. Cover it with foil. Get another piece. Stick it back inside. Actually, now we can go on top. Right there. Stick it back on top. Make sure the foil's nice and good. Let's get our probes back in place. Alright, probes are back in place. It's all sealed up. Let's do this. Top vent open and bottom vent is at halfway mark. So it's halfway open. All right, let's get it to 199 and then we'll come out. Okay, so we're 5 hours and 45 minutes into the cook right now. We're sitting at an ambient temperature of 318 degrees, pumped it up a little bit, with an internal temperature of 187 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're getting pretty close. Right now, I'd like to kind of break in and show you what it took to make that Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce that's super, super delicious. Like I said, I made this for my family in the past. They really liked it. Just recently did it on some barbecue meatballs that were absolutely delicious. So it's one of those truly addicting, sweet, smoky barbecue sauces. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna roll some footage and I'm gonna play some music and the recipe is gonna pop up as I do everything. The ingredients are gonna go in. So if you need to, pause it, write it down, do whatever you have to do, but enjoy this Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce video now. All right, everybody, before we get into pulling this and having this completely done, I'd like to do one thing and introduce Junior Flavorsmith. Do you have anything to say?
Yes, I am so excited to eat this, and make sure to also like and subscribe.
All right, that's awesome. Let's get to checking this bad boy out and seeing where we're at. All right, so we're sitting at 205 degrees for our internal temperature. That's exactly where we wanted to be, 255 Fahrenheit on our external temperature. And we ran about 6.5 hours. We actually got this done pretty quick. So what we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna take the top off, we're gonna probe it, and we're gonna see what internal temperature we have with this little bad boy. And also what we're really trying to do is we're trying to puncture it for tenderness. So here we go. And if it goes in and out like butter, then we're good to go. Oh, that is like butter. That is totally like butter. That just goes in and out. I just hit the bone right there. Just slides in and out. Internal temperature, it's reading 203. All right, where are we at here? We're at 199. I mean, we're there. It just slides in and out.
Dad, you always make the best food.
Ah, thanks, buddy. All right.
Every time you make these videos, my mind always explodes.
Good. Yeah, that's just going in and out like butter. Let's pull it.
It looks like butter.
Let's see what it looks like. All right, it's gonna be a little hot. Here we go. Let's see what this looks like. Pull this out. Just slides right out. Pull this
no,
off.
it looks like butter when you flip.
Oh,
that
look
looks
at
delicious.
that. All right.
That looks awesome.
Here we go. Let's get a close up.
Ooh, that looks delicious.
Oh, does that look good?
Yes.
Oh, that does look good.
I can't wait to oh no.
That does look good. Look at that. Oh, that's going to be packed full of flavor for sure. All right, so 6.5 hours is what that cook took. Right now, what we've done is we've covered it back up and we've put it inside the house, and now we're letting it cool off for an hour. That way, all that fat can kind of be sucked back up, and all the juices and the flavors can be mixed and mended and sucked back up into the tissue of that meat, and it's just going to be super, super, super tasty. So in an hour's time, we're going to just open that back up. We're going to put our gloves on, and we're going to just start ripping all of that apart. We're going to pull the bone right out, and then we're just going to tear apart all that tissue and everything and get it ready for the sliders that we're going to do, barbecue sliders. Are you excited about this, Junior Flavorsmith?
Yes, I am so excited to eat this yummy thing that my dad made.
All right, so we'll see you in an hour.
Like the top's nasty?
No, the top that's char. That's flavor. That's yummy stuff. That's barbecue, bud. All right, everybody. So here we are. This has been cooling for an hour now. I have Junior Flavorsmith assisting me in this. I am going to attempt to pull that bone out.
That's really hard to do.
No, it just comes right out.
Ooh,
look at that.
That looks
That
looks super hard, and you should probably eat the sides.
We'll see. All right, now I'm just gonna go in here. We're just gonna start mashing things up.
That looks delicious.
Ooh, this is hot. This is still really hot.
You think it's okay for my hands?
Give it a shot. Get them in there. Let's see. Go for it.
That's not hot at all.
It's a little hot.
Just a little bit.
It's just all coming apart really good. Super moist. Look at that.
I saw some disgusting pieces.
Well, we'll blend it all together, and then we'll decide what's what. It's pretty cool.
Dad?
Yeah, bud.
What are those little tiny pieces? I saw like some that looks like teeth.
It's all just a little fat and things like that, but it's got the...
Ooh, what's this?
It's in its juice. This is all tissue. Look at this. Stuff just coming apart. Love it.
You have to put it to the bottom, and then you get that.
It's in the juices. You got it. Look at this. Oh yeah.
Squeeze its
Just
guts.
a delicious mess.
Actually, this is really good.
Let's just keep mixing it up. Oh my goodness.
This looks delicious.
This does look delicious.
Isn't it like shredded beef like we did last time?
Well, this isn't. This is shredded pork. That's what this is. This is a delicious piece of pig.
This looks delicious.
It is. I know it's gonna be. So this was already a pre-trimmed piece of pork.
It was?
So there wasn't. Yeah. So a lot of the exterior fat was taken off of it. We had a little bit of a fat cap, but not a lot of a fat cap.
Dude, that looks so cool when you lift it up and you just let it
Right?
fall. All the juice is getting out of from this side.
Yeah. I think we are probably pretty good with
Now you just
that.
make it flat?
No, just keep doing what you're doing. All right, keep going. I had to take
What
my
is this
gloves
big
off.
piece?
Just keep going. Keep shredding it up. Keep shredding up. You're doing a great job. Get underneath, lift it, pull it apart. There you go. Good job. Let's keep it all in the container though.
Some pieces look white.
Yeah. All right. This looks awesome. I would give you a high five right now, but we would get sauce and juice everywhere. Look at the camera. All right, everybody. We're going to put this together on some delicious buns and give it a try. Bite into it and see how it tastes.
You know what? I don't want to try this. I just want to try it like this.
All right.
I just want to take up a little piece and
give it a shot. Take a little tiny piece.
Where's a piece I can get? That is actually actually really delicious. Whoa. Feels like you're like, what is that? And then out of nowhere,
Smoky sweet. It's
just like,
amazing. I knew it would be. All right.
this
here we
time
go.
for
Let's
real,
go put it
I'm
in a
not acting.
sandwich.
This is actually really good.
All right, moment of truth. Time has come to dig into this bad boy. So I have this pulled pork sandwich. This is what I'm calling it. It's the purple pepper pulled pork sandwich because we were marinating that grape juice and everything and the Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce. I've got it on a pretzel bun. Let's dig into this. I'm super excited to try this. Look at that bad boy. Yeah. A little bit of mustard seed on there, some pepperoncinis on top. Oh my gosh, that is so good. That is it's like the ultimate sloppy Joe. I've never been a fan of pulled pork, but I gotta tell you, this is really tasty. I mean, really tasty. This did everything I wanted it to do, and that barbecue sauce is totally awesome. And I think everything I put into it, all the time and effort, was completely worth it because this thing is flavoricious. It is just packed full of flavor. If you enjoyed any of this or you got any value out of this content, please do me a favor, like and subscribe. And until next time, live a life of flavor.